on the right time. So I'm just going to introduce you quickly, and then we start from that. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. Let me just make sure. You okay? You okay? Are you ready for us? Are you ready? Are you ready for us? Ambassador Temitope, good. Is it going to be lightning? Do we have any background lightning or something?
I have
Yes.
put the light on actually.
Okay, yeah, it's much better now.
I've put the
Okay.
light on. I think it's my laptop sometimes does its own thing.
Yeah, that's technology for you, my ambassador. That is technology. We can't beat that. We just have to try what we can try and not.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, you can international. Okay, welcome to Yes You Can International once again, Academy, where we are presenting to you Mindset for Transforming Leadership, Management, and Relationship Masterclass. We've started this journey since the beginning of this month of July 1st, and now 31st of July. Wow, what a 31 days of marathon of studying, sharing, teaching, learning together. And I do not take all your times for granted. Now, today is our amazing time ceremonial day, and we're still going to have new leaders joining us today as well to share their thoughts, their wealth of wisdom and knowledge and experiences. So, our second speaker this morning will be Ambassador Temitope Odetunde from UK, United Kingdom. And she will be sharing with us on collaboration and cooperation in leadership. Okay, Ambassador Temitope Odetunde, with over 15 years of motivated experience in pharmacy sector, a seasoned professional who has earned expert across primary and secondary care setting. Her journey has been excel as a trainer, CQC inspector, NHS 111 professional, and as the head of medicine management for community health services. In her current leadership role, she spearhead initiative for non-medical prescribers, driving resource management, governance, compliance, quality improvement, and risk and management to new heights. Her tenure at Guy's and St. Thomas Hospital NHS Foundation Trust has led pharmacists and independent prescriber was marked by the development of a clinical pharmacy service, enhancing patient care in Southwark and Lambeth integrated care services. Her strategy leadership in medication management, risk identification, and care pathway development for the elderly has been a cornerstone of her career. And as lead pharmacist lecturer and assessor at City and Islington College, London, she has been instrumental in shaping the future of pharmacist education, guiding learners to success and innovating educational workshops. Her expertise was further solidified as Bath Health NHS Trust, Wimf Trust Hospital, where she ensured the strategy use of medicine in the acute assessment unit. At Croydon Health Services, her role as a medical information pharmacist was pivotal in advising on pharmaceutical matters, supporting the drugs therapeutic committee, and overseeing the introduction of new drugs and service development. To follow her passion about patient-centered care, in patient-centered care in the community health service. She co-hosts a monthly LinkedIn audio event to discuss issues within community health services as it relates to medicines. Our personal ethos is rooted in faith and a commitment to making a meaningful impact. She is an advocate for person-centered care, especially for the elderly, and our principle of reliability, care, respect, loyalty, and perseverance are reflected in every interaction. Outside the professional realm, she's the host and voice behind Ambassador in the Marketplace, where she's already invited me and interviewed me already. If you want to get there, please subscribe to the YouTube where there is the link there. One making a difference in the market. I mean, she interviews Christians who are making a difference in the marketplace. She's an accomplished author of 6 books, including the insightful Is Crude Wise Dove. Click on her website in the future section to find out more about her. Her unique blend of can-do attitude, leadership acumen, clinical expertise, and a person-centered approach sets her apart. She's passionate about facing challenges head-on and turning them into milestones of excellence. So, join us together as Yes You Can International and Yes You Can International Academy to welcome Ambassador Temitope Odetunde. You are welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Wow, that was that was a long one for me. Thank you. I'm very grateful. Thank you for the privilege. Thank you for the honor, Dr. Elizabeth Lucas Afolalu, for inviting me. I do not take it for granted. I appreciate and I honor what you were doing and the work that you were doing. And I pray that the work will expand, it will enrich people, and it will go even further, and you will see more and more fruit and testimony of the work. I have been and I want to say thank you to everyone who's spoken since the 1st of July, and we've been sharing nuggets of information. I've been able to participate on the WhatsApp group, and it's been an enriching moment, and I want to appreciate. I've learned a lot, and I'm hoping in the little I'm going to share, I believe that um, I'm going to be able to add a little to that which has been said so far. The topic before me today is about collaboration and impact. Sorry, bear with me.
Collaboration and cooperation.
Collaboration and cooperation. Sorry, I'm just trying to share my screen. Bear with
Okay,
me.
yes, you can.
Uh, bear with me. Right. Entire screen window. Yes. Bear with me. Is my screen visible?
Yes, please. Yes, and you can
Okay.
enlarge it, ma'am.
Is that better? I've done it I enlarged it to the highest. Is that okay?
Yes, there is a button there, like a window. We haven't seen it enlarged, but if not, we can
Oh,
just continue with that.
is
Okay, that's
is
fine.
is enlarged it on my screen, and I can't even see anyone. Which
Ah,
is strange why it's not doing it on the other side.
okay,
I'm not sure why it's not doing that.
that's fine.
I'm really sorry about
It's,
that.
it's
So
okay.
my topic today is about collaboration and cooperation. And funny enough, I chose this particular side, and when I chose it, and it kind of speaks to me. So this is a group of plants that's got like spike, and everything in different places. And that's what collaboration sometimes is, that people, we come with different things, and by the time we finish collaborating, we will smoothen up. That's the idea, because it's about and I find that collaboration and cooperation means almost the same, which means working with someone to complete a task or to produce something or achieve a goal. And so by the time we collaborate and we cooperate, some smooth, rough edges should smoothen out. And so I'll be talking about collaboration today. Um, and again, thanks to Yes You Can International for having me. I'm very grateful. So just to put some word out there in terms of collaboration, cooperation, it's about unity. It's about participating in something. It's about working together. It's about having joint efforts. It's about having that alliance, that synergy, that association, that mutual support, and that partnership that we're trying to form. And one of the things I find with collaboration, especially from my experience as a senior manager and obviously working within doing regional work and some national work, is there are attitude around collaboration. And first thing I will say is trust. Before you can collaborate with somebody, you have to trust them, because trust is what gives you motivation to even want to collaborate. Trust to say that okay, they will do what they said they would do. Trust to say that okay, I've accessed this collaboration and I think it will work. And that's because there is a level of trust. And so if we're asking for collaboration, or if we're expecting people to collaborate with us, then we have to have an element of trust. Trust is very important because it's an ingredient to for progress, and that covers in any place, in even in church ministry, coming together, in business coming together, is about the trust. The second thing is about knowing who you are. One of the things I've learned, especially from me trying to collaborate, is I need to not live in denial. I need to really know who I am. And what that means is that I need to know what my limitations are. So if I'm trying to collaborate with a somebody who is bigger than me, what does that mean for me? And will I still have a voice? And what sort of voice will I have? And it's about knowing who I am and don't live in denial and make myself bigger than I am, and then enter into a venture of collaboration that actually will lead to disaster. This that thing is about respect for other opinion, and I think that's very important because we live in sometimes in which people undermine people's achievement, undermine people's concern, and I think it's important. So if I'm collaborating with somebody, I need to respect their experience. They probably have done it before. I might not have done it before because this is my first time. I need to respect their size. If they're bigger than me, they've got. So, for instance, if somebody I've got 400 staff and I've got 100 staff, they got four times powerful. They're four times powerful than me, and I need to respect that. I need to respect their results. If they've had results in what I'm trying to collaborate about, then I need to respect their results. I also need to respect their concern and their pain point, because they probably have done it before, or maybe they've tried to do it a few times and it hasn't worked. And so I need to respect that. I need to also respect the fact that actually, especially if I'm a small organization, they might be having uncertainty that actually if I collaborate with this small organization is going to work. And I think sometimes that's what prevent big organization even teaming up with small organization, because obviously they've built up credibility and they don't want that credibility to be put into ruin by a small organization. And so, respect for others' opinion, respect for where they are is very important. Willingness to compromise. Because, again, if you're collaborating with somebody who's been there, done that, got the t shirt, and you're just coming on, you have to be willing to compromise, and you have to be willing to look at critically what's being presented and say, okay, what area can I compromise on, and what area is a no-go. That's not to say that we have to compromise on everything, no, but we have to be willing to move some boundaries to be able to collaborate. effective communication is important, especially if there is a domineering power, so to say. For example, the example I gave, if somebody's got 400 staff and I've got 100, they have a level of domineering power. And so there needs to be clear, effective communication, how that collaboration is going to happen. And obviously, making sure that there's a clear communication channel between the parties. Open mindedness is very important, because we all come with our own preconceived ideas of what we want to get out of a collaboration. But then if we really need must have this get something out of this collaboration, then our mindset has to be right. And we have to be open to changes, to suggestions, to ideas that might not necessarily be something we've thought about before. Accountability and clarity on roles and responsibility is key. In collaboration, there needs to be some level of service level agreement that this is what this party is going to do, this is what this party is going to do, this is how much um uh, uh this party is going to pay, and this is why they're paying this, and a breakdown of what that means, so that everyone is clear, so that there is no shocking news right at the end, or one funny bills coming towards the end that is unexpected and is a bit of a surprise. But ultimately, also, to even collaborate, collaboration is a risk, because in some cases you don't know if it's going to work. But if we are to make changes, if you are to make things happen, then we have to be willing to take risks. So being a risk taker, and being curious, because curiosity will help you to launch into that risk taking mode. So very important that we are able to do that. So, like I said, don't undervalue the power of collaboration. Like they said in the front, but collaboration is powerful. We've seen it in different organizations. We've seen it in different places. NHS at the moment, they're asking um, for instance, in my area where I am right now, 4 hospitals are coming together to form an integrated care system. There is a push for um, um, GP surgery to come together. They form what they call a federation or a primary care network and things like that. So collaboration is powerful because it's like a synergy. It gives you more power than you have before because there is synergistic effect going on. So, when we're talking about collaboration, well, we have to find these collaboration opportunities because really and truly, they are everywhere. But then the question is, how do we find them? So, it's about spotting opportunities. So, I tell people, spotting opportunity is about actually be in the right place at the right time, or even being in the place. So sometimes I when I'm mentoring people, I sometimes tell them that if you're not in the meeting, so if there are regional meetings and things and you're not present in those meetings, how are you going to know if there's a collaboration opportunity? You're not going to know because you're not present, and you need to spot those opportunity. Sometimes the opportunity might just be somebody presenting something, and you just tell, I'm thinking about that opportunity because somebody did a presentation or something. So we have to be able to spot the opportunity, and that's where curiosity also coming. Also, finding collaboration opportunity is about identifying the pain point. So I identify, so I for example, maybe go and talk in an organization, and I ask the employees question, and they beginning to tell me their pain points. Their pain points gives me opportunity to actually ask for collaboration because I can see some pain points and I can see how I fit into those pain points. So I can actually ask, I have the answer to what you're looking for, but I need this and you need that. Why can't we collaborate and come together and make something good? And it's a win-win for both of us because you solve this problem for me, I solve this problem for you. So it's about identifying those pain points, thinking outside the box. Thinking outside the box is very important because there are times I don't I've found that, especially in this financial crisis, that there are things in which I have to be creative about. How do I make this thing happen? I have to think outside the box. For example, okay, pharmacy, they work between 9 to 5, but I can't get staff to work between 9 to 5? Can I get staff to work partly in the morning, get another staff to work in the evening, and I got my shift cover? And in even that, what that means for me is that I actually have two staff instead of one. So I have to be able to create in and think outside the box when we're trying to find collaboration opportunities. And beware collaboration is discussed. Like I
And
said again,
your slide is not moving. Is it intentional?
where am I at the moment?
You
I
are
should be on
you,
finding collaboration.
you are on page 1.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Okay, if
where?
we can move it, that's fine, but you are on page 1.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
I'm
that's
not
all right.
sure why it's
Don't
saying that.
worry, just keep talking. Just
I do apologize for
yes,
that. I don't know why.
you can send us the
Okay, the
PDF
slide.
later. Yeah, later.
Okay.
So
So I do apologize. I
it's
don't know why
okay.
my slide is now moving.
That's
So
okay.
be where collaboration is discussed, which is really important because collaboration is discussed almost everywhere, in a tea room, in a in a in a in a webinar. There are collaboration being discussed. It's just that they didn't call it collaboration. They
Mm.
probably call it, oh, a seminar, or they call it a workshop, but there is always collaboration everywhere. And be a problem solver. If you are a problem solver, you will find collaboration opportunity. So it's about being that problem solver, looking at things critically and say, how can we solve this problem? And it's about, again, looking at thinking outside the box. Collaboration opportunities about volunteering. So it's not everything we're going to get paid for, but by collaborating, we solve a problem. By solving a problem, we can actually sell that idea to somebody. So volunteering to solve a problem, make us a problem solver, and by that we can actually monetize that if there is a need to do that or there is an opportunity to do that. And collaboration is about asking. Sometimes people want to collaborate but they're scared or they don't think they should collaborate, and actually actively asking to collaborate, we bring this collaboration opportunity because we have the opportunity to pitch ourselves and to let them know I've seen the pain points and I think I can be an help to you. So asking for those collaboration is very important. Next slide. I'm sorry you can't see it. Is the pitfall of collaboration. The
If
reality.
it's possible, you can actually bring the slide down from so that because we're just you understand, and then you can see it from your end. Yeah, it's moving now. Yes,
Oh, is
absolutely
it
good.
moving now?
Yes, it's moving now. So
Okay, okay. If
you
you
are
don't
on
mind,
page.
I will leave it like this.
Yes,
So
yes,
I
yes,
am on pitfall of collaboration. Is that what you're
yes,
saying?
yes, yes, yes.
Fantastic, excellent. So pitfall of collaboration is the reality is that we want to collaborate, but one of the reasons why we don't collaborate is because we're worried that something will go wrong, and
Mm.
something do go wrong when we collaborate. That's the reality. But we should not be scared of collaborating because we think something is going to go wrong, because we can never make any change if we think something is going to go wrong. So in terms of pitfall of collaboration, it takes time to reach agreeable decision because you go somebody who has this idea in their mind, and then you got the other party who has this idea in their mind, and sometimes it takes time to actually come to that place where people are willing to compromise. And so very important, and it's important to bear this in mind so that we don't have unrealistic time frame or unrealistic expectation. The other thing is loss of autonomy and control. When we are collaborating, the reality is that we are not totally in control. And sometimes that worries people because they're thinking, ooh, I'm no longer in control. What's going to happen next? Especially if you're collaborating, example, from a big organization to a small organization. Yes, there will be some loss of autonomy. And that's where we need to know who we are and what we are allowed to. So what we can accept and what we cannot accept. Then unequal contribution. Sometimes people try to take a ride and they want to do unequal contribution. And I've been in that place in which they gave us a pot of money. I collaborate with somebody, and the person wants to get two-third, and they want to give me one-third, and I'm thinking, why? And that do happen though, but that issue can be addressed, and that's why there has to be clear contracts, clear role and responsibility, and now funding will be divided equally if there's a funding involved. Also, one of the things that we know do happen is around conflicts. Conflict is, there are good conflicts, there is bad conflict. But conflict is not a bad thing entirely, because then, like they say, we agree to disagree. So conflict is not a bad thing. It's about how we undo that conflict in collaboration and how we move forward after that conflict. So very important. So I thought I'll address the dark side before I address the advantage. So advantage of collaboration is a time to be innovative, is a time to create something that is not there before, is a time to, I don't I'm not sure if you saw the plants I showed earlier. It's a time to remove the rough edges and to put some beautiful flowers with no rough edges. So we can innovate, we can create things that are not there before as a result of a collaboration. We can problem solve. The reality is that I always look at it this way, that if I can't solve the problem by myself, why don't I just collaborate and with somebody who can help me solve my problem, and then I can help them solve their problem, and we can solve problem. We can share expertise. The reality and this is very obvious in the way the government is going around healthcare. So the idea of GPs coming together is there. Historically, a practice we have diabetic nurse, the other GP practice does not have diabetic nurse, but if they collaborate, guess what? The diabetic patient in this party, they get access to the diabetic nurse, and maybe the other one they've got somebody that does wound care very well, and the other place don't have wound care, so they can share expertise, they can share resources, they can share network. They can share network because network is important, because you would need to be able to leverage on each other's network, and it's very important. And resources, like we said about funding, if two people come together and do a project, they both bring 50% each of the money. But if I do the project alone, I have to cough up the 100% of the money. So why don't we share resources? It increase productivity. Let's even assume that we both decide to bring 100% of the funding together, then we have a bigger impact. We can produce bigger things because we are collaborating, and so we can have a bigger effect. And also we can share ideas, because some especially in the healthcare industry, and I believe it's somewhere where people are working silo, and that's why duplication is so many, because everybody is doing it, but we're all doing it in our own little thing. But then we can share ideas, we can share good practice, so that I don't have to do that project again. If you've done it, I can take your results and implement it and get the same. I can take your method and implement it, I can get the same result like you got, rather than having to start the wheel all over again, finding money to do the project again. Why do we need to do that when we can collaborate? Also, advantages of collaboration is we can promote each other's business. So if I collaborate with somebody, so for instance, I do pharmacy, but somebody does branding, and then I have an event. they promote what I'm doing in pharmacy. I promote what they're doing around branding. We can promote each other's business. So sometimes there might not be monetary things involved, but there are other things that money cannot buy, like network, and we can promote each other's business. So if I have 1,000 people that know me and the other person have 1,000 people that know them, if we come together, 2,000 people get to know us together rather than this 1,000 people that I have. Um, Third party endorsement, you get other people endorsing you, because sometimes you're trying to get your ideas to someone and they don't want to listen to you. But if somebody else come and say, actually, I've worked with that person and I think they're a good fit for your organization, we get third party endorsement. Referral, and that referral can be vice versa. Like I said, somebody can refer somebody that needs training around medicine to me, and I can refer somebody that needs branding to them. And so we can have a vice versa referral, and that we get better productivity individually by actually collaborating. We can complement each other. So if I'm collaborating with somebody that, okay, I'm not very good at IT, but you have somebody that is good at IT, but I know your staff need training. So however, I do training for your staff and you give me IT support. So we can complement each other. And that way I don't have to pay because I'm giving you training, you're giving me IT. And so we can actually complement each other and being able to actually solve some problem without necessarily having to pay for it. I've talked about leveraging each other's network, about the fact that I have access to your network, you have access to my network, and we can collaborate on content. I find that when people say, oh, they got bestseller, you find that sometimes the book that is you co-author with somebody, or an article you co-write with somebody, you get more visibility than when you write it on your own, because again we get to leverage on each other's network. So the idea is to be the change we want to see, like Mahatma Gandhi obviously said, we need to be that change. We need to look for those opportunities to collaborate, and we need to collaborate effectively. So type of collaboration that I've been involved in, I will share them. So I've been involved in collaboration around workforce. So I had a situation in which I've been trying to recruit into a post I've not been able to recruit. And so I went to somebody, I said, well, I can't recruit into a post, but how about we collaborate? And, we recruit two people, and each of them, they one start in your area, in your setting, one start in my setting. They spend 6 months in your setting, they spend 6 months in my setting, then they rotate. That way, number one, we're giving the person opportunity of experience in two settings instead of one. But at the same time, we're trying to solve our workforce issue. And that has worked well, in the sense that, number one, I get to, and the other thing that does is that actually the person kind of have an understanding of what happened in the community, what happened in acute. I get to have an understanding what happened in community, what happened in acute, and we were able to share ideas. Training funds. So, for example, there's a training fund out there, but they said, oh, we only give it to you if you collaborate with somebody. So I had to collaborate. Yes, I have to tell them what I do, why I think I'm a good fit for them and all that. But we were able to get our training funding, and we were able to share that training funding together. And we were able to get staff trained, as well as come and work for us while they're training. So I get a body on in my team, but also I get the funding. Research, I've had to collaborate on research with different healthcare professional, or even research with like academia. So they for example, with the academia, I'll let them know, okay, you got a student that you want to train, and I've got a research I want to do, so why don't we collaborate? You send your student to me, she get the research done, and I get my research done, she get her qualification, and you get to obviously sign her off as being competent. And that way we're able to collaborate. I even did a publication which obviously we all get credit for. meeting legal requirements. So, for instance, collaboration that I've done with Boots, they need the pharmacy structure just changed, and now pharmacists are meant to come out with prescribing rights. The challenge is they don't have opportunity to do that prescribing right now because this is the first year it's going to run. I've got prescriber in my organization, so I said, fair enough, send your staff to me. Number one, I get staff. Number two, you also pay me to have your staff, so you get your legal things signed off, and I get paid for obviously having your staff on ground, and so we collaborate. Financial incentive, again, I have students where I have placement within my organization. The school is looking for placements for them. I have them in my organization. They pay for the placement. The student get what they want. The academic the school or university get what they want, and everybody is a win-win effect when we collaborate. Also, when we want to implement an idea, so for instance, Dr. Elizabeth was talking about being doing a program on LinkedIn. And how did that happen? I actually collaborate with somebody because I wanted to share an idea about why students should be on LinkedIn. And I thought, yeah, after they've been on LinkedIn, somebody needs to help them do their LinkedIn properly because I don't even know how to do that. So I have the knowledge about pharmacy and students, and this other person have knowledge about LinkedIn. And that was my idea. So I collaborate with the person. This person come and talked about being able to do LinkedIn and actually sign people off up to actually help them do their LinkedIn, and I got my idea implemented. So sometimes we want to implement an idea and it's about okay, who can make me bring that idea to life? Very important. So, my last slide, which says to innovate, we must collaborate, and to collaborate, we must trust. And I find a word that says change only happen at the speed of trust. If people don't trust us, they're not going to change, and if change doesn't happen in this, we're not going to move forward. So I believe we can see it all around us that things are changing, and collaboration is the key to moving forward, especially in this financial climate. Why spend 100% when you can spend 50% or even less, or even in some cases you can spend no money at all because you can solve their problem, they can solve your problem, and you both have a win-win. Thank you very much for the opportunity to present. I am very grateful, and I don't know. I believe there will be questions. So, yes. Is there any questions? Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Briefly, I just want to ask one question. Collaboration. In your own personal experience, do you have any challenges when collaborating with others? Or what kind of
Yes.
challenges? Yes. And how do you overcome that?
Yes, I've had challenges in which, like I said, so for instance, I've been in situation where my organization, even though we cover a whole patch of Surrey, we're not the biggest organization. And so I've had the opportunity to collaborate with bigger organization. However, the other side of that is if you remember what I was saying about um, sharing the resources equally, and it's about okay, we can't share the resources equally. It's about okay, why can we not share the resources equally? What does that mean for me? Okay, if that is not the case, then how much of my time are you asking for, and is it equivalent to? And it's about, what I was saying, that having that service level agreement, a contract, and those things have helped me to actually make sure that we are everyone is clear about what they're doing and how they're going to achieve. So having that clear contract, clear written agreement has really helped me, especially when I felt okay, things might actually change especially if the person move on, and I need to put something in place to make sure that the agreement stays the same. And the other thing is when I'm in collaboration and people, sometimes people write all these lovely things, and I'm like, I need you to break it down. And it's important that you get people to break it down so that you can actually one by one ask questions. So I like to ask questions, especially if there is so much going on. I want to know, okay, what does that mean for me? What does that mean for me? And actually actively ask questions. However, even when you in the middle of that collaboration, things will happen, and it's about again having that communication. And one of the things I try to do is not to assume, and to
Mm,
actually call the meeting and say, this is what I'm seeing. I might be the one seeing it this way, but can you give me clarity? And having that clear discussion, and
mm.
to say, actually, that is not what the agreement was. Can we go back to what we agreed? And it's about sometimes putting your foot down, because it's important, and there is firmness that is needed when you're collaborating, or else, yes, people will take you for a ride. I hope I answered your question.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because sometimes I also go through the same challenge as well. And I mean, learning from your own perspective and how you deal with it, we also had more value or more information to what I will do next time whenever I find the solution. And I believe that that will happen to every other person as well. And we learn together on this platform. We are all great leaders, and nobody knows it all. So when we come together, we pick up one or two points, and then we see how we can apply it to make our business very successful. And I like the way you said that collaboration, when you are in collaboration, you share your gifts together. It makes me to realize in the olden days when I wasn't born, so let me not claim that. When I wasn't born, there's something they call trade and barter.
Mm,
I'm sure my papa will know about that, and Professor Charles and Professor Ruben, because they are, and even Pastor Awodiro, because they are more age than me. So trade by barter is when somebody is doing computer, another person is doing printer, and then they match to get, the exchange. The computer needs printer, the printer needs computer, so something like that. And I think that is also the modernize of trade and by barter that this collaboration represent. And I like the way that you said that, especially during this global economic crisis, that you don't, where you need to spend 100, you can spend 50. You
yeah,
can spend 50 instead of 100, to save off and to use to use other resources and money for something else, while collaborating with somebody that is expert in that area that you could have, waste money on. And I believe and it also saves time as well, where
yes,
your family, well, your own team are struggling to do one particular task. If you can just outsource it to your collaborators, then that makes life easier as well. And
yeah,
also, it also exposes us to new ideas, because
yes,
you have your own ideas, another person has their own ideas, and then when you now come together, work together, they learn from you and you also learn from them. So it's
yeah,
a powerful, powerful application that we need to embrace and to apply. I also remember that even with this NHS as well, I've noticed that some of the NHS trusts, they've really collaborated together,
yes,
because
yes,
before it was Guy's Hospital on its own, St. Thomas on its own, and even the King's College Hospital where I work there on. So, but I can see a like kind of a collaboration working together, in terms of sharing their resources together, because sometimes one hospital might be short of bed, the other hospital might have enough, and then they can transfer, because I'm an admin. So I know more about all these things, how they interact how they connect and how they work together. And I've also seen some of the councils as well, where
Yeah.
Hammersmith and Chelsea, they're uniting together, and other councils like that. So really, it's more than just looking at it in a business wise. It's open, because if you can try to save up, if you can save, you not to go into bankrupt or not to go into administration, collaboration will be the best solution.
Yes.
To
Yes.
collaborate with others so that you can strengthen, iron sharpening iron. You can now
Yes.
be strong and operate and perform together. On this note, I want to say thank you so much for sharing
Thank you
this very
so much.
valuable.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. We know you are very busy. We've read your profile. We know how busy you are. NHS doesn't waste any time in UK. So we better leave you to go and do your audition. Is it editor audition or whatever you want to do?
I've got some notes.
Yes, I think
Yes.
we will release you
Um,
to go and do that, please. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I hope I've been able to
Yes.
share a thing or two that has been enriching to
Thank you
to
so
to the
thank
listener. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
On behalf of Yes You Can International and Yes You Can International Academy, United Kingdom, where you reside as well, we say thank you, ma'am, for joining us today and sharing your wealth of wisdom, knowledge, and many years of experience and your expertise. So we really, really appreciate you. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us. All my matrons, all my patrons are on the platform. I've got my president from Peru, USA. I've got my mentor from Nigeria. Professor Dr. Ruben is from Peru. He's one of our president. We have my mentors, Professor General Charles from Nigeria. I've got my papa, my everything, my Reverend Professor Akpabio from Nigeria as well. And we've got also one of our advisory board member, Pastor Awodiran, on the platform. So we are not alone. And you are also part of us. You visit us regularly. You watch all our videos. We want to say on behalf of Yes You Can, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And please connect if you want to connect, and anyone also can connect with us. He has a very, thank God that most of us are Christians. She has a very, very important program apart from the health side. She call it Ambassador in a Working Place. How do we, because she has already interviewed me, how do we adapt with our Christian life, our faith, with the in the world marketplace? Am I right? Okay, so she might be knocking some of your doors, and I've done my own part already. Unless if she invites me back for part two, I don't know, but at the moment I'm still okay. So thank you so much, Ambassador Temitope. We